Hello and welcome back to Minerva, formerly known as Eyes Wide Shut, I believe. So yeah, in the previous update, we ended up stumbling upon a bit of a Silent Hill-esque situation in which these guys were all trying to leave the whole camping area because it just was getting a little bit too dangerous and a little bit weird. And upon crossing a bridge or like one of those, I'm not sure if it's, no, that's not underpass. It's, well, basically like a tunnel. They ended up experiencing an earthquake, and then the road out seemed to have, just been covered by a landslide. And then on the way out, the other way, it was impassable. So now they're sort of stuck there. And it's just been covered by fog, basically. So Max, the raccoon, and Cole, his current boyfriend, and Issa are now sort of trying to figure out what to do. I believe that it ended with them being at like an old fire lookout tower or something like that, and then somebody falling. That's as much as I remember, unfortunately, because it's been a while. I believe they were like trying to reach somebody to try to get them out, but like, yeah, that's about as much as I remember. So yeah. What else? There is still some tension between Issa and Cole. Also Cole is you're gonna be seeing new sprites for him. I believe like the whole cast more or less is getting like a little bit of a glow up. Issa was the first, now Cole, maybe Max later. I don't know much else of what's going on so far. I mean, spooky stuff is happening. If I recall before that though, Max was supposed to do a sort of like, this thing where you're supposed to like get lost, quote unquote, in the woods, and then use like this GPS thing to find your way back. And it took Issa like a specific amount of time, but it took Max like way shorter amount of time, even though for him it seemed like it took longer. So there's like some weird shenanigans happening within this forest, but yeah. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, let us continue Minerva. Never eat soggy. What? Instead of the monotonous beeping that I expect, the GPS emits a rhythmic tone. Did I break it? Turning north, it returns to normal. West, and it comes back again. It's repeating some kind of pattern. Maybe Morse code? But what is it? Huh? Whatever I've stepped on is distinctly not a leaf. It crinkles like paper, the size of a post-it note. The Polaroid. It must have fallen out of my pocket. It's faintly soiled by the muddy shoe print, but it's developed enough that I can make out Issa proudly showing off her fish. Looks good if I do say so myself. Returning to the GPS, it still seems to work, even if it's a bit wonky when facing west. Computer errors have always freaked me out, but as long as I go in that direction, I should still end up in the same place. Maybe I should try beating Issa's time. A twig snapping behind me startles me and I sprint off as fast as I can. Maybe I will beat Issa's time. I reach the clearing in no time, met only by Issa's wide-eyed stare. Hi. I'm struck between catching my breath and laughing at myself. That couldn't have been more than 10 minutes. Hey? You good? Yeah, of course, just... freaked myself out a little. Her eyes narrow as she scans me head to toe. What? We've been waiting for almost 30 minutes. What? There's no way that it's been more than like 10. She holds up her phone as the timer flips from 29 to 30. We were worried that you got lost. I literally ran the whole way. There's no possible way that I just ran for 30 minutes straight. It's fitting that part of you doubts your ability to run for 30 minutes, and not that it took you 30 minutes to run a mile. It would take me 30 minutes to run a mile. So no issue then? Well, the GPS is kind of going crazy when facing west. I flip it back on to show her and the rhythmic beeping occurs just like before. Whoa, weird. Sounds like Morse. I thought the same thing. Oh, here's your Polaroid, by the way. I kinda, sorta may have stepped on it. I produced a photograph from my pocket. The light brown stains are more noticeable now that they are in direct sunlight. She holds it at arm's length in front of her. I really ate that. I thought you might lose it. I guess you are a Taurus, though. Nice and consistent. I don't believe in astrology. She quietly shakes her head. So, where's Cole? He went looking for you. He was worried that you got lost. And you stayed here to wait for me? I told him that I would find you faster, but he insisted that he knew the forest better than anyone. She rolls her wrist dismissively and makes her way towards the van to put away the photo. Well, should we go looking for him? Brilliant idea. Go right ahead. I'll wait here. All right. Well, never mind then. As long as he gets back before dark. We should at least clean up while we wait. Not that we've made that much of a mess. Normally, Cole takes it upon himself to tidy up, which I appreciate. I'm happy as long as I don't need to touch any dirty dishes. You think that he's still out there? No duh. The sun is setting, and it's gotten really cold the past few nights. If he's out there without any sort of shelter, we really should look for him. Yeah, and when he gets back and no one's here, he'll only panic even more. Then why don't you look for him and I'll wait here? Hard pass. Ugh, fine. I fall back against the rear seat of the van, my feet sticking out of the open door. Thankfully, Issa's cleaned up her belongings earlier and moved them into a neater pile. Still a pile, but a contained one. Her bag is always bursting at the seams with junk. Seems like she shoves just about everything in there without a second thought. He's lost. Obviously. Cole has always been awful with directions, but it'll even be worse in the dark. He's alone in the forest, without any way to contact me or Issa or anyone else. Don't worry about it too much. He's capable. He'll probably, find the road or a river and make his way back eventually. I mean, he is literally a bear. Not like anything out here is gonna mess with him. Yep. We could probably start a fire or something. Make a smoke signal. That's actually a pretty good idea. I'll go get some grass then. Grass? It burns darker. I was gonna suggest burning some of the garbage that we picked up. Plastic does burn black, and toxic. But that's probably a better idea. We both start collecting bundles of grass from the nearby brush. So, how are things going with Cole? Fine, mostly. I wait for her to respond, but she's giving me that "and" look. He asked if I wanted to move into his apartment. Yeah, going to? I told him that I would think about it. I mean, it has been 8 months at this point, and it'd be a lot nicer than living in the dorms. A lot cheaper too. But, I don't really know. I scratch an itch on my nose. Issa's face stays blank. She's probably searching for the right way to react. Not keen on playing house with him? Maybe that's part of it. Worried that you got a taste for flesh? What? You know, like when you bit him. He told you about that? No. 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 I heard you guys talking last night. Heard parts of it. I sort of realized that I shouldn't be listening a little too late. I thought you were in the van. I was. You think that I can hear the river but not y'all talking? I can't believe that you didn't hear me laughing. You're like my little vampire baby. Don't call me that. And, don't eavesdrop. It's rude. I'll hold off until it becomes funny to you. But I do have to ask, what happened after you, sounded mad? Oh God, even when Cole isn't here, someone is still asking me about this. I don't want to talk about this. Come on, please. You can't leave me on a cliffhanger. Well, last time while I was writing, I said, vroom vroom, stick shift, and now I'm not allowed to have dick anymore. Really? No. Oh my gosh, don't look now, but the word gullible is written right behind you. Don't worry about it. It's really nothing interesting. It sounds interesting. I wrap a particularly long stalk of grass around my bundle and tie the ends together. You know how Cole can be. Overbearing but a pushover? I thought you'd like that about him. Yeah. Sometimes. I don't really understand how you two ever ended up in a relationship anyways. I was hanging out around Cole literally all the time. Just made sense. We hung out all the time. That's different. You don't even like women. You didn't know that. Don't kid yourself. So, then why is he attractive to you? Well, he's a pushover. My parents always loved him to. And he's like funny and smart, I guess. And I like that he's a little pathetic. Cole's kind of like a lost puppy. I never had to worry about him disagreeing with me. Okay, it's a little mean to keep calling him pathetic and a pushover. How does that make them any better of a partner than a friend? What about Mark? Personally, I think he's just plain. She's really shooting below her leagues with him. Was with Cole too, honestly. Not that Cole isn't attractive. He's got that kind of body that Twitter gays murder for, but not exactly the sort of build straight women like typically. Not to be graphic, but I've heard that he's got a huge dick. Well, that much is true. Not that I know firsthand. Oh, well, I've heard it firsthand. Always a night before a morning class. Might make him harder to work with, though. It's so easy to blow up a dude's ego by telling him how big he is, but he's probably used to it. Well, that explains why Cole... What are you getting at with this? I'm just curious. And deflecting? Maybe a little. It's easy to get you to change subjects. We toss our bundles on top of the cold coals of our fire pit. Isa gets her lighter and doesn't take long for the grass to catch and start smoking. Want to do something while we wait? She lowers her snout to me while raising her eyebrows. Not a tarot reading. Come on, just for fun. No, I don't support that stuff. It's exploitative. Girl, it's free, and you won't even take anything I tell you seriously. At least do it so that I can be entertained. If there is one single thing that I oppose, it's spirituality being used to give people a warped perception of reality. However, nothing she could tell me is going to make me think any of this is real. Only for your sake. I knew that I'd wear you down eventually. She climbs into the passenger seat and pulls a lever to let the seats down. I slide to the middle seat, letting the passenger seat come all the way down to form a makeshift table. She cuts and shuffles the deck twice, randomly flipping some cards' orientations before fanning them out in front of me. Pick 3. I pull the first 3 from the left. She takes them and lays them face down on the seats. Pick 3 more. I take 3 more from the left. These she lays face up. Whoa, what a fucking reading. I'm sure it is. She rolls her eyes and looks at the face down cards one by one, her snout wrinkling each time. What? This is, interesting. Explain it to me then. Well, she points to the first card, the Hermit. The Hermit represents knowledge and learning. What's bad about that? It has more to do with the secondary card. She pulls her shoulders back into an upright posture. I do the same. The first face-down card changes its meaning to represent the influence of forces outside our control. Ghosts, spirits, whatever. I don't believe in ghosts. Can I see? It's not really ghosts. It's more like the forces of nature. And no, that's how you let these forces in. The absolute worst thing that you can do is allow it to get into your head. Awfully ironic coming from her. Anyways, the next card is the Emperor. It represents power, control. That's super fitting for me. I know, right? The last card, the Devil Reversed. It represents the arcane, magic, and more specifically miracles. Based on the secondary cards, this has something to do with me. Is that good? She just shrugs. So what about this is so shocking? I've never had a reading this clear. Usually things are up to our interpretation or kind of vague. But there's literally no way for me to misunderstand what the cards are saying. You don't think that they're usually vague, so they're more applicable to more situations? I don't care what meanings they take to be correct. If they're right, they're right. Uh-huh. The sarcasm pours out of my mouth like molasses. You should take this at least a little seriously. I will whenever it starts being applicable. She leans back and collects the cards. You seem awfully interested for someone so against this. They gave me autonomous sensory meridian response. Max! What, huh? It's Cole back? No, that's why I'm waking you up. I was fully expecting to wake up to the sun blinding me again, but it's like it's no light out, but also not dark. Fully neutral. Okay, yesterday I was playing it cool, but seriously, the fact that he isn't here is kind of freaking me out. Whoa, it's foggy out there. We need to start looking. In this fog? What's your actual plan? She pauses, pushing her tongue against her cheek. Find Cole? We need something more than that. I mean, he's probably out there lost waiting for us to find him, right? Sounds like him. Maybe he's waiting at some kind of landmark, somewhere that we'd be able to find him. Then why wouldn't he just find his way back? He knows this area pretty well. At least he sure thinks he does. I'm not sure, but something must have happened. We could start with driving down to the bridge and fan out from there. That works. I just hope that he's okay. She jumps up, using me as a footstool to climb over into the driver's seat, and the car lurches before I can buckle in. Slow down, you're gonna hit something. I know. I'm just trying to be efficient. Come on, think, Max. What was the last thing that Cole did before our activities yesterday? He must have written down our plans, or a map or something. Maybe my notebook? I did lend it to Isa earlier. Maybe he took the chance to put something in it too? I pull up the backpack from between the back seats and reach around for the cardstock cover. Inside my notebook are 2 pages filled with... Is this Morse code? It's Cole's handwriting. What are you looking at? I hold the notebook up to her. I think Cole wrote down a Morse translator. She glances over but keeps her face towards the road. Why would he... Oh... What? Dude, he's messing with us. The GPS, the signal thing, is totally meant to lead us to him. It's like a game. This is something that he'd totally be into. She finally slows down, and it's only now that I realize that neither of us put on our seatbelts. It's gotta be for the GPS. We need to decipher the message. She pulls to the side of the already small road and pivots into the back seat. I hear the GPS chime to life and the familiar rhythmic beeping as she faces west. Okay. Starts with just a line, then dot line dot line dot line. TRUST, trust. Keep going. Line dot another dot THE dot line line dot line FOX. Trust the fox? Are you in on this? No. Weird message. Trust the fox. Do we keep looking for him then? Before he left, he told me that we were gonna hike up the mountain today. If you're right and this is some kind of puzzle, he could be up there. I mean, he could also be around the bridge. We already went there yesterday, and it seems like he sort of burned that bridge with a broken cache. The mountain is probably the best bet. Ugh, I do not want to go up there. Okay, seriously, there's gotta be a better path up. I just shrug. Want to try climbing up the cliff in heels? Oh, I could totally do that. Probably not a great idea. If either of us falls, it's not like we have Cole to carry us. We continue around the mountain, though there seems to be no indication of where the cliff ends. Feels like we've just been walking in a big circle. It's weird that he's been gone for this long, right? I mean, even if it's intentional being alone for this long. I guess. Honestly, I'm mostly surprised that he's managed to be out of arm's reach for you for more than 15 minutes. I gotta pee. Don't go too far. Go piss, girl. Don't fall in. Think of me. Save some for later. Be safe. Have fun. There is a trench along where the mountain meets the ground. Its walls are smoothed out, like a river once ran through here, but only still rainwater remains at the bottom. I wonder just how many creatures have died down there. There is an antler sticking out of the water just below the ledge. I bet that I could grab it. Max? Cole? From directly under me, hidden between the innards of the curve, Cole is lying against the wall, up to his stomach, in water. He's battered and covered in welts. Oh my god, are you okay? He pushes off the wall to the opposite side, now facing me. I'm fine, really. Just cold. Oh man, am I glad to see you. He's shivering, the water rippling around him. What happened? I was looking for you everywhere. There was some kind of earthquake. I tried holding onto something, but the ground crumbled and I tumbled down here. He wheezes mid-sentence. It's not the typical dry whistling that you'd expect to hear. It's wet and thick. It pops and crackles like blowing jelly through a straw. I walked all the way around there, and there's nowhere to climb out. There's ropes in the van. Please go get it so that I can get out of here. Max! I found Cole. Within seconds, she runs into view, looking confused, then understanding that he's below me. Whoa! What happened? I fell. Can you please get the ropes from the van so that I can get out of here? Can you just, lift yourself up? He doesn't respond right away, just furrowing his brow. I'm not at my full strength. I've been down here for a while. Just go get the rope, please. I'm not going anywhere. She rolls her eyes before running off into the mist, her tail bouncing behind her. So, why are we supposed to be out here anyways? What do you mean? Why were you trying to go up the mountain? What's up there? I was trying to orient myself after I got lost looking for you. I tried going up the long way, but I kept getting turned around. Tried to take the shortcut, and we know how that turned out. So you were lost. Why else would I be out here? What about There isn't any rope in the van. I nearly fall in with Cole when she silently appears beside me. Yes, there is. Go look again. Cole, I am telling you that there is no rope in the van. What? So it just disappeared? No, you used it for the hammock. That's where it is. You never picked up the damn hammock. But I did. It's back in the van. I literally just saw it. Just go to the campsite and get it. Please. I swear to fucking God, dude, there isn't any rope. You probably forgot it. Then get the hammock. Anything that you can use to help me lift me out of here. You think that me and Max are going to be able to lift your fat ass out of there? You weigh like 300 pounds. You can't even lift yourself up. He lets out a strained sigh, sinking just a little lower into the water. He looks miserable. Fine. Whatever. I'll look again. She throws up a paw, storming back the way that we came. Hold on. What about the Morse code that you left us in my notebook? I didn't leave any Morse code in your notebook? He looks at me blankly. I have no idea what you're talking about. When we tried to decipher it, we couldn't figure it out. We were gonna ask you to help us, But I guess we should get the rope so that you can do that. Bye now. She drags me along by the sleeve before she's even finished stringing together words. I pull out of her grasp. What are you? Just trust me. What? For what? What are you? Dude, come on. Just this once. There is absolutely no reason for me to, but... I sigh and give her an affirmative look before calling out to Cole. We'll be right back. I'll be waiting. She slams the door and turns the ignition. I stare at her without a word, expectingly. Look, I know you don't believe in this kind of thing, but there is some ghost shit going on down here. If it's not Cole, then there is no other explanation for a signal like that. It could be any... No, that message specifically pertains to me. There is no way that that's just some random coincidence. We assumed that signal was Cole messing with us. But we were wrong. Maybe we were also wrong to assume that Fox meant you? It does. I know it does. And who else could have written that Morse code in your notebook? Or messed with the GPS? I'm being serious, Max. Ghost shit. Yeah, alright, whatever. Let's go get the hammock. I put it away. It's literally in the back. We can go look right now. Cole said that it was back at the camp. We don't have time for this. She clenches her hands and takes a loaded breath, but turns her energy to the wheel and slams on the gas. Hey, seatbelt. She snaps it in angrily without slowing down, but at least she doesn't argue. We fly down the road with uncomfortable speed. Everything ahead of us is shrouded in a thick veil of fog. There is no way Issa can see what she's doing. Her phone sits in the cup holder plugged into the charger. It's turned up and towards her. It feels like it's been that way since we got here. Anytime that I'm talking to Cole and look over at her, she's got her phone in hand. Can we put on some music or something? She pinches her phone between her index finger and thumb, like she's disgusted by it, and hands it to me. Her lock screen is a picture of her and Stella together. 8675309. My phone is old, but Issa's is antique. It's a Samsung that's at least a decade old. The case is covered in grime and scratches, but the screen itself isn't cracked. The bubbles lie underneath the screen protector. I open Spotify out of habit, which I obviously exit and go to the built-in music app instead. As it opens, there is a notification about storage being full. I ignore it and scroll through her playlist for a bit before concluding that there's nothing there that I want to listen to. Not that I dislike her music, it's just not what I want right now. I tap the recent apps to key out of them, and I notice the next open app, Messages. Before I can stop myself, I've read the contact, Stella. Oh, I really shouldn't be looking at this. I'm trying to text you, but there isn't any signal. It wasn't on purpose, my flight got cancelled. Please text me ASAP. I don't have any signal, Stella, please, you need to understand that I didn't want this. Whoa. There's like 20 undelivered texts to Stella, and above that, only a few that's successfully sent. I just bought a ticket to Memphis. I'll be there the day after tomorrow. The conversation above that is from weeks before. Issa yanks her phone back, pulling it out of the charger at the same time. Are you seriously going through my fucking phone right now? I didn't mean to. I was just trying to close out of the apps that I opened. You left your text, like, right there. So just don't look then. Like, genuinely, what the fuck is wrong with you? I have to stop myself before shouting back again. That was shitty of me. Sorry. She takes a deep breath in and then out, and then slows to a stop and leans her head so far back that she's looking straight up. It's not your fault. I'm just irritable. She says it like it's a symptom. You're having withdrawals. She rolls her eyes and sighs. I didn't buy any more cigarettes on the way here. Cole was going to be a dick if we stopped, and I was being stubborn. I don't understand why you care so much about that. It's just, you know how Cole is. I knew that if we stopped and I walked out with a pack of squares, he was going to be an ass about it. So, the one you had at the campfire was your last? Yep, but it was worth it to get back at Cole. Get back at him? Yeah, fucking obviously. He'd literally been making fun of me all day, dude. He had? Still, sorry. Yeah, whatever. Don't worry about it. I settle back into my seat and try not to think about it too much, but I really want to know what happened there. We stop at the camping ground, pulling into roughly the same spot Cole had before. See? Nothing. She hops out of the side door. And let's check the back. The trunk pops open, and there, under a few boxes, the hammock lays neatly folded, no rope in sight. I told you. You're a little too excited that our friend now has no way out of a ditch. Yep, our friend. Cole. Oh, thank God. You got the rope? This is going to be painful. I have water. I pass the bottle down to him, which he chugs before responding. Please tell me that you have the rope. I think you forgot it. It wasn't at the campsite or in the van. I did pick up the hammock, by the way. They can confirm, too. He sinks a little lower into the water and presses his hand on his forehead. And you can't pull me out either. I can't feel my feet or legs anymore. We're gonna get you out of here, alright? Are you sure that there isn't anywhere that you can climb out? I've looked. Nothing. You sure you can't just, jump out? His brow furrows and his head goes under the water in an instant. He springs up, his paws meeting the ledge, but he's only able to get his chin over. He flounders on the ledge for a few seconds before plunging back down. We could try using the hammock as a rope, cut it up and braid it together. Don't bother. It needs to be long enough to tie around a tree. The last thing that I want is to pull you down here with me. We could, dump some of your shit in here for you to stand on? Absolutely not. That's my dad's stuff. You're gonna have to get help. We take the van back the way that we came when Cole first brought us here. We don't get far before the road becomes unstable. I don't remember there being this many potholes. Fucking Christ. I can't believe he actually can't get himself out of there. It's like 3 feet, dude. You gotta start cooking salads for him or something. Just stop. She scoffs and rolls her fingers over the wheel. The van slows to a stop, and I look up to see the road ahead is torn up and impassable. That's not right. Fuck. Didn't Cole mention something about an earthquake? I check my phone, still no service. We sit there idle for a moment. Well, should we try the other way? I guess. Still, it's just really weird. She makes a U-turn and we drive the opposite way until the bridge fades into view, only to find it blocked by 2 massive boulders, one on either side. That's weird. It's not that weird. Earthquakes cause rock slides all the time. I guess. I still can't believe that we both slept through an earthquake, especially one this bad. It's not that surprising. Should we get out and walk? I mean, not like we have any other options. As we inch around the boulder and onto the bridge, 2 tracks of tire marks span from one end to the other, stopping before the second rock. That wasn't there yesterday, right? I don't think so. My mind flicks back to the ARG. As much as it seems thematically fitting for the mystery to center around the bridge, where the cache was, there is no possible way Cole could have done this. Just for the sake of checking, I bat around where the cache was yesterday. Nothing. Seriously, nothing. Not even the hook that it's dangled from. The cache is gone. Really? Let me... She does the same thing I did. Okay. We exchange glances. Let's, worry about this later. We walk in silence along the road leading up to where Cole said the tunnel would be. The only notable thing is how quiet it's gotten since we ditched the van. The fog in front of us gets darker, and it's only as we're getting closer that I realize that it's the side of the mountain. And the road runs straight into it, like the ground came up and swallowed the tunnel whole. We both look at each other again. Go shit. No. Girl, come on. How else do you explain that? Well, I can't. But there has to be some reasonable explanation to this. We're delirious? We're always delirious. This is different. She waves her palm dismissively. My mind goes to everything that we ate yesterday, but I would have known if anything in that could make us sick or crazy. I even checked the foraging book to make sure that everything was safe. Okay, fine. This is a little paranormal, at least until we can find another explanation. They said the same thing about the Salem witch trials. Yeah, and the center of that hysteria was the church, so clearly thinking about this in a spiritual way is only going to push us towards craziness. What are we gonna tell Cole? She sighs. We can't just leave him there, I guess. If we throw out all the stuff into the ditch, maybe it'd be enough for him to get out. But I know that he'd rather die than do that. I wish that we had a radio or a walkie-talkies, or something that could get a signal out here. The GPS. Huh? The signal. It only comes from one direction. Maybe it's not supernatural. Maybe it's a broadcast? Ugh, fucking obviously. How didn't I think of that? And if we follow the direction the signal is coming from, it'll lead us right to it. Exactly. It doesn't explain the actual message, but it's far more plausible than anything else. Maybe there's someone still up there trying to get our attention. Maybe the same person behind the tracks and the cache. Why would they use the phrase, trust the fox? Do you think that whoever is up there could have something to do with the cache and the tire marks? It's possible. I just hope that they didn't do all this on purpose. She reaches into the back of the van and turns on the GPS again. At this point, it's on its last bar of power. We need to be fast about this. She turns until the beeping starts somewhere between the north and the west. Judging by how we got a westward signal yesterday and a northwestern signal today, that must mean that it's close, probably just on the other side of the river. I am so fucking sick of this forest. She tugs at her heel, loosening one of the straps just enough that the front of her foot is no longer stuck to the bottom of the shoe. The fog, as consuming as always, looms between the trees, merely steps into the forest, and the GPS begins beeping faster. Do you think that that means that we're getting closer? She shrugs. So what happened with Stella? What? You think that you can dig through my phone and then start asking questions? I'm just curious. Yeah, well, maybe it's none of your business. Eventually the beeps merge into one long continuous tone. Issa turns, but it continues no matter what direction she's facing. I think that it broke this time. Should we just keep going in the same direction? Watch out! She pulls me back as broken wood boards crash down next to us. We duck behind a tree and exchange a glance before slowly peeking out to see what it was. The planks shift and a gravelly, snarl-like whine breaks the silence as the disheveled figure of a wolf drags itself to its feet. Its head twists unnaturally as it shakes off, then rests limply from its slender shoulders. Its mane is sharp, metallic almost, reflecting light in such a way that its fur appears distorted as it turns. Its body leads, as if dragging its head behind it. For a moment, I think that the forest can't get any quieter until its eyes bore into me, two golden irises. Issa is still standing straight, holding her camera to her eye. You need to get down. She doesn't, as the wolf turns and limps away. We stay like this for what feels like minutes, but judging by my sense of time, couldn't have been more than 30 seconds. Holy shit. Yeah, it's a wolf. Looked kinda sick though. Something wasn't right about it. It was just off. It probably just woke up from hibernation or something. But it looked like it fell, right? I don't understand how that could have... I look up, and we're right under the outpost. Well, that's convenient. What? Oh. Yeah, cool. I can't believe Cole thought that it was hidden. Hold this for me. She hands me a Polaroid. The undeveloped black square reflects myself back at me. Into the sweater pocket you go. By the way, you're supposed to make yourself look big and calm if a wild animal approaches. When you cower like that, it just tells him that you're viable prey. Now, how do we get up there? Looks like there used to be a ladder, but it's broken off its hinges. Give me a sec. There is a tree about a meter away from the outpost. If I climb it, I should be able to make the jump onto the balcony. It doesn't take too much effort to find my grip. I make it onto the top deck and peer through the doorway. The stench of rotting wood is thick, and a large hole past the door makes a normal entry impossible. That must be where the wolf fell. How did a wolf even get up here? And why is there a lookout here to begin with? I'd expect it to be at the top of the mountain for the best coverage, but it's down here surrounded by trees. It can't see over much of anything. It feels more like a glorified treehouse. Looking further inside, I can make out a desk and what looks like some kind of radio unit. Next to it is something small and reflective, glowing from what little light seeps through a broken window. Wait. Issa's head pops up on the other side of the window. Well, looky here. Somebody already broke in for us. She's halfway through the window by the time that I walk around to her. You know, I said to give me a second. You were too slow. The window screen is torn in half, like someone used an X-Acto knife to split a hole down in the middle. My sweater almost gets caught on the edges of the mesh as I climb through. Hey, look at this. She's at the desk, straining to pull out a knife that's stuck in the wood. Once it's free, she turns and shows it to me. It has a familiar emerald grip, embedded with 3 diamonds and a gold ring pommel. It's heavy for its size, likely made of a solid metal, except for maybe the diamonds. Those could be plastic. I take it from her to examine it more closely. Oddly, it fits the description remarkably well, albeit in the form of a knife and not a blade. I have a bag that this matches perfectly with. Can I keep it when you're done? Nah, this is definitely mine now. It's almost an exact replica of a luck blade. I'm pretty sure that this design is from D&D 5th edition, and judging from its condition compared to everything else, someone brought it here recently. Maybe it's the same person that tagged the fridge and sliced the window? Fuck, you're encyclopedic about that game. Why do you think that it's up here? I don't know. If we came here first, I really would have thought that Cole set this up. First the message, now this. Maybe someone is fucking with us. But how would they have known to bring this? I mean, trust the fox is pretty vague. Whomever brought or made this would at least know a little about me. I stare at my reflection in the pristine blade. In the crevices of the diamonds there is a crusty brown rust. Maybe moss attempting to burrow deeper into the blade? Either way, someone put a lot of effort into making this, and I'm sure that they'd prefer it in my hands than stuck on a table. The 1+ to damage and hit rolls is nice, but it's hardly impressive compared to the wish contained within. Hey, this thing is on. She's examining the radio box on the desk. My ears catch the subtle hum of electricity. That's a radio transmitter. It must be the source of the broadcast, but how is it still on? Where's it getting power from? She just shrugs. You think my phone could get a connection from something in here? I doubt it. It's all pre-phone, pre-Wi-Fi even. I can't imagine what people did before the internet. It's like you took the text out of my messages. We might not need your phone to call for help if this equipment is functional, though. You think that you could get it to work? I was in the robotics club. I'm not great at it, but I could try. Not like it could hurt. Broadcast systems like this should come with a microphone. Desk drawers, compartments, shelves, most of them are full of junk. The drawers under the console are especially damaged. All that is left is a set of handheld radios. 2 of them have battery acid leaking out of the back, and one has its front smashed in. That kind of damage doesn't happen just from dropping it. Anything covered in acid is not functional even with new batteries. I'm about to give up and look elsewhere when I spot one more in the very back. It's smaller than the rest, but at least the back doesn't have any obvious signs of acid damage. It's in a pretty good condition except for the antenna being bent at a weird 45-degree angle. It snaps off completely when I try to bend it straight. Shoot. We don't need that part anyway. As long as the microphone inside is intact, we can still connect this to the outpost's broadcast system and talk into it. I pop open the back and the battery slots are both empty. Thank fucking God. No battery acid means that we actually have a chance at getting a message out of here, as long as we have batteries. We need batteries for this. Issa digs around the shelves on the opposite wall, inches away from the hole in the floor. Nothing over here? They're all too old, probably burst from the water damage. Check the fridge. My dad would have put batteries in the fridge and said that it would make them last longer. If any survived, that they would be in there. Sounds superstitious. It's worth checking, right? I suppose. I leave the radio on the desk to go check out the fridge. Black mold is growing out of every crevice and some kind of liquid has pooled beneath the door. I cover my nose and mouth with my sweater. Before opening it, the airtight seal has been broken, so the door swings open easily, unleashing a cloud of black spores. It smells like death, looks like death. It might very well kill you if you breathe it in. Ugh, that's awful. Ugh. She gags 3 more times as she distances herself to the opposite corner of the room. Jesus, did I just unleash the bubonic plague? Maybe we shouldn't get out of here. It might be for the best to cull ourselves now before we start another pandemic. Every wall, shelf, and crevice is coated in swaths of black fuzz, coming alive as they sway in the breeze drifting up from the floor hole. Whatever food once existed here is long, long gone, taken over by rotting growths of organic material, freed from their plastic Tupperware prisons. Every container is stained black inside and out, all except one which isn't stained at all. The container rattles when I pull it out. Opening it reveals an unopened pack of AA batteries. Must be pretty common superstition. Still, it'd be a miracle if these batteries worked. Unless someone left them here like the knife. Perhaps it was the same person that graffitied Gesh on the fridge in bright pink. The batteries fit just fine into the back of the radio. It crackles when I hold the power button, but doesn't turn on. I wrench the screws out with my claws until I can remove the front piece of the radio. Could really use Cole's multi-tool right about now. A single yellow wire has broken off from its terminal. Only a tiny copper fiber closes the circuit. Pushing it back together makes the radio flicker to life, but only while I'm holding the wire in place. It feels like it's heating up against my finger too, causing a steady, growing, searing pain. Have you seen any tape? She sets a roll of clear tape down next to me on the desk. I look at her with a momentary start. Thanks. Once I get this fixed, I want to check outside. There should be a large antenna. Rusted, of course. The whole antenna array is covered in a coarse orange coating. The signal probably barely reaches us. It's not going to be strong enough to get help. Maybe I could shave the metal down with a knife. Hey! Something hit me in the back, but I turn and don't see anything. What? Her voice comes from under me, still inside. It wasn't her? Nothing. I rub my back as I stare at the long silver pole on my feet, slowly rolling away. Where did this come from? A faint rustle close by makes me snap my head up to look at the nearest tree. An owl is perched at its branches, staring into me with brilliant golden eyes. Who? It coos before taking off and diving under the outpost. I lean over to the edge to watch, but it's gone. Did it drop this for me? Everything up here is rusted to hell, but it's almost perfect. Issa pokes her head through the window at me. Everything okay? Yeah, can you come help me with this? She crawls out the window. With what? We're gonna fix the antenna. We managed to jerry-rig a connection between the newer rod and the rusted antenna, hopefully enough to boost the signal. The console emits shifting static tones as I tune the dials. I know a few channels for emergency use, but our efforts will be moot if there's nobody listening. Above me, Issa is rotating the antenna while I monitor for anyone else's traffic. Find anything yet? Just keep turning it. Hopefully there is a station or a highway nearby. An incoherent voice crackles through the noise. There, stop. The signal is shaky and I can't tell what's being said, but this means that there is at least one other person on this frequency and within range. Issa comes back in through the window. Can we broadcast? Try talking into it. I press down a red button, lighting up a yellow bulb on the side of the console. With the handheld radio connected to a microphone, I tentatively speak into it. Hello? Nobody responds. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not working, though. Ask for help. Tell them where we are. Oh, this is Max Cadler. I am with Isa Martinez and Cole Idelson. We're trapped in... I give Isa my best what do I say look. She shrugs but then holds up a finger and pulls out the GPS, motioning for me to keep going while she looks. The woods, and could really use some help. We think that there is an earthquake that blocked the roads. Cole fell in a ditch filled with water and can't get out. We're sending this message from an abandoned fire lookout. Isa holds up the GPS, showing our coordinates. Our exact location is... After reading it out, I press the red button down again. It pops back up and the yellow bulb shuts off. I'm not sure that actually broadcasted anything. You sure? Let me try. Gimme. She snatches the radio from my paws, unplugs it from the audio jacket and plugs in her phone instead. I forget that some phones still have that port. She hits the red button but then stands there silent. Plugging it in like that isn't going to do anything. She doesn't move or do anything for that matter. Isa, seriously, what are you trying to do? She lets out a strained breath and leans into the table. I need to get a message out. I need to tell Stella that I'm coming back. Seriously, right now and not when I asked about it before? Now's not the time for that. We have to. Can you just shut it? Cole's going to get hypothermia if we don't get him help soon. I can tell that I come across more agitated than I mean to. Her face wrinkles at first. I think that she's going to yell, but instead... She's missing, Max. Like, fell off the face of the earth. Again, I have to go back and find her. You know where she is? I've got ideas. Can't you just tell someone? She's not going with anyone else. I know exactly where she is, but I just can't send someone to grab her. I have to go. I have to tell her that I'm on my way. And the fastest way to do that is to help Cole so that we can get out of here. We don't even have a way of contacting anyone outside of here. Max, please. I can't wait anymore. I need to tell her that I'm coming. This is complete nonsense. I know, but that doesn't change that we can't do that right now. What are you expecting to happen? We haven't had a connection the whole time that we've been here. What about the tarot reading? Okay, that's just wishful thinking and you know it. What if she thinks that I abandoned her? I know that she read my text. She knows that I should be on my way, and I skipped my fucking flight. I thought you said that it was cancelled. Yeah, by me. She collapses to the floor, head in her hands, the fur around her eyes damp with tears. Knowing her, she's not getting up. If I go back to Cole now, I'd be leaving her alone. But he's stuck in a ditch, freezing. Is hypothermia possible? It's not that cold. Look, I highly doubt that this will work, but... She slowly lifts her head to look at me. There is a chance that we may be able to send a text from here. Her eyes meet mine with a glint of hope. Instinctively, I look to the floor. But if it doesn't work within half an hour, we go back to Cole, all right? She gets up and wraps me in a tight hug, squeezing my cheek against her shoulder. Thanks, seriously. I haven't even done anything yet. Well, this is about as hopeless as I thought. After some tinkering, it's clear that this equipment isn't APRS capable, which was going to be my last holy grail. Isa's resorted to standing on the roof next to the antenna, trying to get at least one bar, while I repeat our distress call on the radio, hoping anybody is listening. I think that it's about time that we give up on this. She's on her tippy toes, clutching the antenna with one arm to steady herself while holding her phone over her head with the other. Her hand is visibly trembling. Hey. She doesn't acknowledge me. We should go. If help isn't coming, then we have to figure something else out. I stand next to her by the antenna. Her breathing is ragged. And you look like you need to sit down. She sighs and lowers her arm, still looking at the screen. If there were a way to contact Stella, I would do it, but it's just not realistic. Cole needs us more right now. I lean closer and rest upon the antenna. I wish that I could help. I really do. She takes a deep breath but then stops, looking intently at her phone. Then she starts typing out a long message. Issa, I have a connection. Seriously? She finishes typing and after a few seconds her phone chirps. Oh my god, it's sent. Let me see it. I take it from her and rush to the phone app to dial 911, but it just rings into the void. Whatever reception she had is already gone. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Issa looks from me to the phone, her ears dropping. Whatever, let's just go. I don't want to wait anymore. Sorry. It's just been a while since I've driven anything. You're good. It was gonna happen eventually. She says it with her head halfway out the window. At least it's outside. My driving is unsteady and uneven. It's just plain terrible, hardly helped by the road being nearly black at this point. I'm worried that I'm gonna crash right into one of the rocks at the bridge from before. We stop where we had before, the first time that we found Cole. I can hardly help myself from running to him. Arrgh. His paws are halfway out of the aqueduct, swinging at a dog? It's cackling while nipping at him, kicking dirt and rocks down as it does. Even with him swiping at it, it seems unfazed. Cole! Lunging over the gap, I pull the blade from my sweater pocket and swipe at the canine, just as a warning. It again seems completely unfazed. Less than unfazed, it lunges at me. I can see myself in its reflective eyes. It snarls and bites at me, just barely missing my arm. I swipe at it again, this time nipping its snout. It yelps and scrambles away, but I won't let it leave that easily. I kick it off balance and grab it by its tail, but it slips away into the brush. That was unusual. I inspect the blade, expecting to see it stained red, but it isn't. If anything, it's even less saturated brass than before. It does seem a little lighter too. Guess it's lost its novelty. Issa's entering the scene opposite of me as I rush back to Cole. The rope is loosely hanging from her right arm. Please tell me that you have the rope. I have a rope. What happened? Are you alright? That thing ran up to me and started kicking rocks down at me, trying to bite me. I practically tear the rope out of her arm. Must have been sick, rabies or something. I secure the rope to her tree with a knot. I have trouble undoing. It's just long enough to reach the aqueduct and dangle down about 2 feet. Cole scrambles his way up with some help from both me and Issa. He just lays sprawled out on the ground, stomach down for a minute. When he sits up, he grabs me and pulls me into a hug. A wet, awful hug. I'll tolerate it. He has been trapped for the past however many hours. When he lets go, his eyes immediately go to the rope. The smile he had while hugging me drops. Your feet all right? My shoes, help me. Right. I unlace his boots before pulling them off. The socks get rolled off afterwards. I use my phone's light to inspect his legs and feet, Issa hovering over my shoulder as I do. No frostbite, that's good. We should check on this tomorrow, but you look alright for now. Just numb. Great. Cole seems just fine. After he got his feet back in working, fielding condition, he seems to have no trouble getting up and even drove us back to camp. I'll join you in a bit. There's just something that I want to ask Issa about. His ears droop. All right, but there is something that I need to talk to you about. His voice drops as he speaks. Why are you saying it like that? I am not saying it like anything. Okay. He pulls his head back into the tent while I head towards the parked van. You doing all right? Not really. I run the pad of my paws against the blade again. Wanna do another tarot reading? She actually sits up in response. The way that I react to that is clearly unflattering based on the way that she rolls her eyes. I thought you said that it was all bullshit. I'm a person of science, and there's new information that I have to account for. Such as? I lean around in the passenger seat trying to find just the right place to settle in. I mean, don't call me crazy, but there's just been a lot of things. Little things that don't make sense. Little things that I can't explain. I mean, the signal, the knife, the fact that we were able to send a text out from here. Even yesterday, there was stuff that I found odd, and the day before that. I know it sounds like actually crazy, but things have been aligning with the curse of Strand in a weird way. I thought that it was Claude. That was our DM's homebrew. Something about one of his characters from his campaign, the original Strand. I can't believe that you remember that. She shrugs and shifts back. What's aligning exactly? I mean, just small stupid things. The fog, for one, but also the blade. I mean, it's an exact replica and it felt significant. Now it seems like any other ordinary blade, but at first it really seemed like something special. What makes you think that? I could tell her about what a luck blade does. With the wish, it could have just been used up to send a text. Fuck, did I seriously waste that? Even the tarot reading predicted it, just as Madame Eve's might have in the campaign. What am I saying? This is nonsense. Some stray radio wave bounced off the atmosphere or something. A random, scientifically sound anomaly. It's just a hunch. But even the dog that was harassing Cole, in the Curse of Strand, the first time that you meet him, Strand, he's in the form of a wolf attacking your party. And we did also see a wolf. What, so you think that this is all somehow related because of the unpredictable weather and the two unrelated canines? Oh, and by the way, that dog was definitely a fox. I know. It's stupid. Whatever, don't worry about it. And anyways, I can't do another reading. The thing has a cooldown. Can't just spam it over and over again. Yeah, I should have expected there to be limits to your abilities. My abilities? You say that like I'm magical. I mean, you kinda are. She lays back down, staring at the roof of the van. What makes you say that? I just mean, you're kinda good at everything. I don't understand how you're able to manage so much. You're a photographer in a medical field who goes to raves and has more pop culture or fashion knowledge than anyone else that I know. I could never find the time for all of that. Is that like what you think of me? I mean, yeah. Don't sell yourself short, you're pretty talented. She pauses for a moment before regaining her composure, straightening up to look at me. I mean, you're like literally encyclopedic about D&D. You know everything about the game to the extent that it's worrying. Honestly, I wish that I had the patience to learn all that. Dude, you're a doctor in training. You're at least decently patient. Well, I guess you're right. So you got any other secret talents? I used to play piano. Like, when you were a kid? Like, up until I was 18. Really? Were you good at it? I was alright. I could play Rachmaninoff when I was 14. That's a big name. Sounds difficult. Why'd you never mention this? I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. I don't really like talking about it. Really? You seem pretty quick to bring it up. It was something that I got pushed into doing. I was naturally good at it, and my parents decided that I was a prodigy, and this was my path to success. I might have picked it up quickly, but I really wasn't that particularly good. Even so, I invested years of my life into trying to make it work. I was given so many chances to succeed, but it just never really worked. That's rough. But why'd you stop? If you invested so much time that you'd want to keep playing, right? I shifted my seat at her, prying. It feels kind of pointless. It's not really about the piano, it's like I was given every single chance to succeed. I had every resource and I failed. Every time that I approached it, I couldn't help but to face how catastrophically I flopped. The low rumbling of the car's heat takes up the space while we sit and listen to each other's breath. I'm being dramatic, but you get the idea. You would have gotten along really well with Stella. What makes you say that? I did meet her once. I feel like you'd get each other if you talked. She's just a warm person. She would love you. I don't really know what to say about that. Were Cole and Stella close? Her face scrunches a bit. No. I mean, I guess they had some classes together at school. Stella knew Cole's dad through her parents, actually. Stella is kind of the reason that I met Cole. Really? How? Um, Getting a ride back to Stella's house? From delivering drugs to someone's house? What? It was a whole thing. There was this girl, Anne. She was one of Stella's friends. This was actually how I first gotten my hands on coke. Ugh. That fucker, Matt. I know that she's with him again. Who's Matt? He's a loser with a P.O. box and a Tor browser. He and Stella had an ongoing situationship for like 6 years. They date, she develops a stimulant problem because Matt lets her. They break up, they get back together, and the cycle repeats. It's the whole reason that I canceled my flight. Every time that this happens, I go to help Stella, get pulled back into being an addict, and that forces Stella to pull us both out. Your relationship sounds kinda awful. Yeah, it sort of is. Why still help her? I don't know, because she's my friend? Sorry. I don't know. It's kinda my fault. None of this sounds like your fault. Yeah, well, you don't know the full story. You sure this is right? Matthew said that we just put it through the mail slit. Matthew is such a shithead. Stella walks up to the house, but I have absolutely zero intentions on getting off the road. Would be nice if there was a sidewalk here. Come on, you need to come with me. She walks backwards to me and grabs my paw. It's sweaty. Ugh, wipe it first. I don't understand why you're so fucking anxious. No one is gonna be here. It's a stranger's house. That's only a half-truth. This is where Anna used to live. Matt's been dropping shit off here for months. Anna's gone, but there's still orders to this house. Why? Yeah, and? No one's here. She opens the screen door. The holes in it are big enough that I could easily reach a fist through. The mail slot isn't in any better shape. The bag is in my pocket. I start to pull it out while Stella holds open the mail slot. The handle turns from inside. A large bear opens a door, looming over us. Stella? What are you doing here? Hi, Andy. I thought that this was Anna's house. She literally is unfazed. Not anymore. I'm cleaning it out. And who are you? He's looking right at me. Issa. You know Jamie, right? Yeah, rented one of my properties 20 years ago. You're his kid? Yeah. Well, glad to see that you're doing well. He was a good tenant. Y'all need a ride home? That'd be nice. Still know my address? I was just there last week. Of course I know. Andy's van is new, and it's got that wonderful new car smell. It's honestly one of my favorite parts of hanging around Stella. Everything has a sheer coating. Everything that I've ever gotten has a layer of my older brother's grime on it, and anything new goes to either of my younger brothers first. There was a boy sitting in the passenger seat. Oh God. What's his name? The theater boy. Horrible at singing, way too into drama. Clearly the target audience for Hamilton. Stella and Andy haven't stopped talking this entire time. I've still got the bag in my pocket. Just don't think about it. My leg starts bouncing, and then I'm looking all around. My tail is batting the seat. Stella grabs my paw and just holds it. Give me a light. He's holding out his hand to the boy in the passenger seat. He opens a glove box and pulls out a lighter and a box. Nah, I told you, the red ones. He switches the box for another one of the same brand. Andy lights a cigarette and blows it out the window. This really must be a new van. My phone is always silenced, but that doesn't mean that I don't know that there is a notification. Mom has texted me 6 times. You can just drop us off here. I don't mind. He doesn't wait for a response before pulling into the street and then into the driveway of the 4th house down, Stella's house. Tell Vinny that I said hi whenever he's back. I will. Thanks for the ride. He waits until we've unlocked the front door to back out of the driveway. Stella's house is like a landscape. There are so many layers to it. From the entrance, her living room is sunken into the floor, and above it, balconies surrounded. Even above that, there is a skylight. I don't understand owning such a ridiculous house if you're only gonna have one kid, and she's hardly home anyways. Dude, you gotta chill. I was worried that you were gonna throw up. Sorry, I just wasn't expecting that. I've still got the bag. I hold it out for her. I can't believe that he's doing fucking coke of all people. How do you know that he's doing it? He was waiting for it. No way that he just happened to be by the door. What do we do with it? Give it back to Matthew. What else? I'm gonna stay at his house while my parents are gone anyways. I'll just give it to him later tonight. I just roll my eyes. One day a cute boy will walk into your life. Being jealous goes nowhere. I'm not jealous. I just kind of think he's a creep. He's a senior dating a freshman. Come on, you know how weird that is. He's a junior, and he's not even 3 full years older than me. 35 months. She just flips her hair and walks towards the kitchen. Why not go for Cole? That's the boy in the van, Andy's son. Ugh, no. He's such a pushover. That's literally exactly why you should be into him. And I mean, don't you know how much property his dad owns? Yeah, whatever. Stella flings the bag onto the marble counter, reaching for the cabinet above it with glasses. Your gauges are coming along nice. Thanks for letting me use your kit. We could do it. I'm kidding. I was wondering when you'd become fun. Still too worried about getting in trouble. You want to do it? You mean the dubious drugs Matt orders from God knows where? Yeah, probably not. Not like it's that hard to get our hands on it somewhere else anyways. I bet my mom would give me some for a festival or something. Absolutely insane how her little parents seem to care. I guess they don't have to worry about it being cut with something else, not when you've got the money to buy that shit clean. Something inside me says do it. Something small but compelling. I mean, this is basically normal teenage behavior, isn't it? Rebelling against your parents. Everyone has a urge to do that. That's what I'm already doing just being here. I pour some onto the table. Maybe half the bag, a little less. What are you doing? Being fun. You know that he'll pay for it on your behalf. Issa, seriously, we shouldn't. If I do half, you have to do the other half. Stella doesn't say anything. She just chews on the corner of her mouth and adjusts her crimson tank top. You owe me. I took the fall for your nick in the bathroom. Don't bring Julian into this. I thought that we agreed to name it Juliet. No, that's besides the point. Come on, it's an adventure. I throw my hands up and back into the air, creating an arc over my head. Okay, fine. Split it. With a restaurant pamphlet, I separate the pile into 2 even halves. Are you sure that this isn't too much? I've seen Matthew do this like millions of times. Should it be too much? On 3. She presses her head into the marble, the scar beneath her waiting eye shining back at me. I close my eyes. 3, 2, and I knew that I was willing to throw my life away for this feeling. So I suppose that this is the start of Issa and her friend's addiction. Remember, kids, don't submit to like peer pressure and stuff. Anyways. I'm curious what happened because in the previous part, we see Max fall, but then right as he falls, it restarts back to where he's in the forest, like trying to do the whole little thing where he's supposed to find his way back or out. And this time around, he takes considerably more time to get out. And he also gets like the little message that is apparently telling him like, oh, trust the fox. But in the previous part, he was getting some message, but like it wasn't the Morse code message. He literally just got a message, he got kind of creeped out, and then he went out. Pretty fast. Another little curious thing though, in the CG, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, this is the music. Here. Right here, you can't see my mouse, but on top in the white empty space, you see an owl flying overhead, possibly looking at these two. And when they are trying to fix the antenna, in the tower, I don't actually have a picture of the tower. There is an owl there looking at Max, who presumably threw the piece of metal that they used in order to sort of fix the antenna in a way. So I'm wondering what exactly is going on with the owls, specifically because the name Minerva refers to, I believe, a goddess or an owl that was associated with a goddess. So I'm not really sure specifically, but that was related to an owl who was supposed to be like the goddess of wisdom or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I may be mistaking it for the owl that Athena used to have, or that had. It's like a mechanical owl or something like that. But yeah. So there might be a reason why the visual novel was changed from With Eyes Wide Shut to Minerva. And why there was an owl in that one CG, and then again, the owl that delivered the piece of metal to try to fix the antenna. It was also interesting to see that there was a wolf, like a scraggly sort of weird, possibly zombie wolf. I'm only using zombie because any wolf that would have fallen that hard, that high, should not have like walked away. But there was a wolf in the lookout tower, and it's like, well, how did you get up there? And it fell through the same hole that Max fell through. The radio in the previous, 2 videos, the radio wasn't working. They were working on trying to get the radio to work, and now all of a sudden the radio has power. There was no knife there, if I recall correctly, either. So it's like, I wonder if we're gonna be doing this sort of like repeating these scenarios over and over and getting like different outcomes. And I'm wondering if the coal that they rescued is the coal that went missing. So yeah, there's a lot of weird little things going on. Maybe it is the same coal, but he is acting a little weird. And maybe Cole experienced some weird stuff too, and that's what he wants to talk to Max about. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on. Still, the only reason in the previous video that it said that it was giving me Silent Hill 2 vibes was because the game Silent Hill 2 had come out literally like within that week that this update had released. Or the previous update had released, I mean. So it's like kind of coincidental. But it does feel like there's some weird foggy mystery going on. I don't know. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Minerva, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for presumably the itch.io page, if it still exists, because itch.io and Steam are, bowing down to payment processors who have decided to remove any and all adult content, even if it's just tangentially adult. Even if it just fits like a narrow little definition of their like new terms of service, now it's being de-indexed or being removed altogether. So hopefully that still exists. If not, then some people are already trying to figure out ways to what's it called? The word is like at the tip of my tongue. To be able to host it on their own. But yeah. So all visual novels have not disappeared, but they're no longer searchable on itch.io, even though they're still, well, some of them are still there. But yeah. Anyway, so again, linking to there will be down in the description, and they do have a Patreon in case you want to support them. It does help their project, I guess. But yeah, you know, all those links down in the description, as well as the link to become a channel member in case you want to watch these videos as they're being scheduled. Usually 2 weeks in advance, usually. And yeah, like it does help support me, that helps support the channel. There's some only channel member videos on there. At this time, there will be more or less some cooking videos on there. I was supposed to post the one for something that I had made, but I messed it up. Got really upset at myself about it, and I didn't post it. But I'm gonna try to do it again. And hopefully that this next time it works out better. But yeah. There, I guess I'm adding cooking videos now. Anyway, so yeah, also Ko-fi, in case you want to support through there, in case you can't do the channel memberships. It's Ko-fi, doesn't get you anything, but it does help support. Also Throne. Maybe I should start putting cooking things on Throne. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.